Well, it's to make it much easier for people to actually register. Under the previous legislation, a register was published once, and then it lasted for the whole tenure of Parliament. In other words, 4 years. That meant that if you married, changed address, or your circumstances changed for any particular reason whatsoever, you couldn't add yourself to the register. In fact, if you missed putting yourself down on the register, well, then that was it. You couldn't do anything for the next 4 years. This way now, it's an open register. It allows people to register up to 5 days before a general election. So it gives them much more chances of being on the actual register and not missing out from voting.
Now, can you assume that if you voted in the European elections that your name will automatically be transferred onto this register?
Yes, you are. If you're a British citizen, have lived in Gibraltar for a period of 6 months prior to the date you apply to be on the register, and you intend to live in Gibraltar definitely, or indefinitely rather. Unfortunately, if you voted in the European parliamentary elections and you were either a British Commonwealth citizen or a European Union citizen, well then unfortunately you've been taken out of this register, because under the Parliament Act you're not entitled to vote for local general elections.
And what are the options of voting on the day?
Apart from registering and going to vote to the polling station, as is a norm, if you're away from Gibraltar travelling, or you're sick or whatever, there are various mechanisms to allow you to register. For example, to vote. For example, you can apply for a postal vote if you're not in Gibraltar, or additionally you can apply for a proxy vote as well if you're away from Gibraltar or you're medically infirm. Apply for a proxy, and that allows you to vote, allows you to get somebody else to vote on your behalf. Additionally, we also run a service in Gibraltar which is not done in UK, which is called absentee voting, where we send roving teams to places like the hospital or Mount Alvernia, areas like that, where people who are infirm and can't actually make it to the actual polling station. We actually send a roving team up to them so that they vote there. But I would recommend that people, in those type of situations, the best thing for them is to actually apply for a proxy vote, which is a much better way of doing so.
Now, some people might be concerned about data protection issues because their address is freely available here in the Parliament House on the printed version of the register. And of course, anyone can go online and use the search engine. All you need is a name and a date of birth, and you're in.
Well, it's a public register, therefore it complies with data protection, and the information that's kept there is to a minimum. If you make a search on the printed register, you're not allowed to take any photographs of it. Even if you go with your phone, you're not allowed to take any photographs. You may take notes, but you may not take any pictures of it. And with the online version, you need to have the date of birth of the person. If you don't have the date of birth of the person, well then you can't access the data for that person.
With all the electorate's details online, what safeguards do you have against hacking?
Well, it's as secure as is humanly possible. I mean, it's behind government's firewalls. It's kept in government secure servers. There are methods which use data, which, in other words, that even though the data is there, it's not. It's data which doesn't allow you to go through and hack into government's servers. But anyway, if people can hack into the Pentagon, I mean, we try and make it as secure as we possibly can.